Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's dive right into something that is quite literally a global phenomenon. Today, we're unpacking how a seemingly simple game goes far, far beyond the boundaries of a pitch. We're talking about the boy who dreams of FIFA, how football acts as a massive tool for change, and honestly, why every single child needs a dream. The core message here is incredibly powerful. We're really looking at how sports act as an absolute engine for human potential.
So I want you to ask yourself a pretty simple question. Have you ever actually wondered why so many kids dream of playing at the FIFA World Cup? I mean, why does a simple football, which is just a round object made of stitched leather or synthetic material, inspire millions upon millions of young people across the entire globe? It's a genuinely fascinating question, and the answer goes way beyond the game itself. It's not just about the roar of the crowd or, lifting a shiny trophy.
When we talk about this dream, we are talking about so much more than a kid just wanting a career in professional sports. This dream represents ambition. It represents hope. It represents that profound, deep-seated belief that a person can achieve something genuinely great, completely regardless of where they come from. Think about kids across Nigeria and many parts of Africa, for instance. They grow up watching these football stars compete on the world's absolute biggest stages. And those athletes, they become living, breathing examples of what is actually possible through hard work, dedication, and just pure persistence.
Let's move into Section 1, the purpose of dreaming.
Having a dream is quite literally the very first step toward achieving any kind of success. First off, a dream provides direction. It helps young people actually set goals and start making positive, future-oriented decisions. Second, it creates purpose. Whether a kid ultimately wants to be a footballer, a doctor, an engineer, an entrepreneur, or a teacher, that dream gives them a definitive why. And third, it encourages growth. It sparks effort. It pushes children to believe in their own potential and really stretch way beyond their current limits.
And this brilliantly illustrates the stark contrast in a child's trajectory. Without goals, it becomes incredibly easy to just kind of lose focus. The path forward gets blurry. But with dreams, kids are actively motivated to learn, to improve themselves, and honestly, most importantly, to overcome obstacles. This is exactly why parents, teachers, coaches, community leaders, we all need to encourage young people to dream big. The aspiration itself is the actual engine for their personal development.
Section 2. Football as a teacher.
Now, if you view football as just a sport, you're only seeing the surface level, scoring goals and winning trophies. But because it's one of the most accessible sports in the entire world, the bigger picture reveals something else entirely. It acts as a powerful pathway. So many incredible organizations globally use football specifically to promote education, healthy lifestyles, inclusion, and youth empowerment. It is a wildly formidable vehicle for social and personal development.
Now, what's really interesting here is looking at the specific traits these kids pick up. Football teaches deep, lasting responsibility. Players learn the vital importance of commitment, literally just showing up even when it's hard. They learn punctuality, they learn respect for the rules and for each other, and they learn absolute accountability for their actions. And these aren't just isolated skills. These exact traits create the foundation for real mentorship and personal growth.
Just think about how this pitch-to-life metaphor maps out so perfectly. Captaining a squad, that directly translates to workplace leadership. Learning to execute shared roles translates seamlessly into business teamwork. And those years of grueling training and practice, that is the exact blueprint for long-term discipline. The skills these young people are learning out there on the grass translate directly to their schools, their future businesses, and their communities. It's all connected. Let's dive a bit deeper into that leadership aspect. Because leadership isn't simply about being in charge or barking orders at people. It is about setting a positive example and actively helping others succeed. Out on the field, players are forced to communicate clearly. They have to make decisions in a split second, and they must stay totally focused under immense pressure. Captains have to motivate their teammates, solve problems on the fly, keep the team unified. They learn pretty quickly that effective leaders work for the success of the entire group, not just for their own glory. And let's see how this builds directly into the concept of teamwork. Because here is a fundamental truth. Even the absolute most talented player in the world cannot win a World Cup alone. The FIFA World Cup is the ultimate demonstration of this. Every single successful team depends heavily on cooperation, trust, communication, and shared responsibility. Football teaches kids that success almost always comes from working together. Every single contribution genuinely matters to the final outcome.
So the crucial point is understanding how these players deal with the inevitable hard times, because success absolutely does not happen overnight. Professional athletes spend years, decades even, maintaining focus on long-term goals. But they also face massive setbacks, painful losses, mistakes, devastating injuries, deep disappointments. What makes champions different isn't some magical lack of failure. It is their resilience. It's their ability to learn from those challenges and just keep moving forward.
Which brings us to Section 3, Life Beyond the Pitch.
That boy who dreams of FIFA? He's a universal symbol. He represents hope. He represents ambition, and he represents the undeniable power of believing in a better future. Yes, the game helps young people succeed on the field, but most importantly, this whole dream reminds us of a really fundamental truth. Every single child deserves a dream, and every child deserves the opportunity to actively pursue it.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought to reflect on. What was your childhood dream? And what lessons did it teach you? Think about the discipline, the resilience, or the teamwork that your own early aspirations force you to develop. Because whether it's stepping onto the pitch at the FIFA World Cup, or stepping into a classroom, a laboratory, or a boardroom, every great achievement begins with a dream. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep growing, and whatever you do, never stop dreaming.